Okay, welcome back. All right, so again, super new, super excited. Eventually I'm not going to be new to this chain, but the best part is new to PulseChain is always going to be available. It's always going to be around because there's always going to be something that's new to me in this ecosystem. And there's always a new way to look at it. And if you're always new, then you're always looking at something with a different, maybe like a different set of eyes. And so I'm kind of looking at this thing from an outside perspective, and I'm confused as to why it's so centered on the community winning. And I see that's in my first video, I kind of alluded to that, where it felt like most of the stuff that's set up in this ecosystem is for people to win, for the community members to win, for the people of crypto, for the people that invest, for the people that are just getting started. And usually it's the platform builders. It's the people that are building up these cryptocurrencies in like a their coins. They drop Solana. Who's winning in Solana is the people who created it. It's there's like 3 people that win in the world, and typically it's not the consumer that wins. It's not the person who's investing in these projects that's winning. And so when I see this ecosystem sort of like work with each other, they work with each other. Like the internet money works with PulseChain. Mintra works with PulseChain. Power City works with PulseChain. They all work together. And so with that and thinking about that, I've looked at liquid loans, and I really like liquid loans for the fact that it's like the ultimate, because it gives you the ability to never sell your tokens. You show me where you can make money in crypto and actually not sell in anything else. It's really hard to find. And then once you do find it, it's still just kind of like, well, it's because you're providing liquidity, or you're providing you're yield farming. But it still requires a lot of putting in to get that. Whereas these projects are sort of just more or less handing it out, to speak about it like that. So moving forward on this topic, though, I want to pull all of these products and show them how we can do an alternative strategy using liquid loans. There's like a bunch of strategies I found on Telegram, in their Telegram group, that they're using for liquid loans, and they look great. I mean, they're a really smart idea. One of them, I want to sit on one of them, and I want to enhance it a bit. And the haunted strategy is that one. I want to take it and I want to enhance it to a new level. And within liquid loans, I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds. I'm not going to explain how the USDL is created, other than just saying it's minted. I'm not going to go into the loan token. I'm not even going to talk about how the system generates other forms of income or other forms of passive income. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to simply look at it from one perspective, is how you can get into PulseChain, and then how you can never sell. Because if you could gain from something and never sell, why would you ever sell in the first place? Because then you can never gain from it again. There's a perfect, I feel like there is a perfect tie-in. And maybe it's just, for me, the way I look at it is a tie-in. I think real estate is very similar to what you can do with liquid loans. And I have this kind of like it's not necessarily just a strategy, but it's sort of an enhanced strategy on top of Haunted. So it's like I've got all these ideas and these ways to run this, and then I toss it on top of the Haunted strategy. just very simply, because it's not explained in this video or even in this document. The haunted strategy is simple. You take your PLS, you put it into the vault. Once it's in the vault, then you just mint 10% of the value that's in there. That's 1,000% collateral. So if you have $10,000 in there, 10% of that would be $1,000. And so the reason you always want to make sure you're over collateralized. So if the market drops, I think, and I could be wrong on these numbers, but I want to say it's like 88% market drop. It could drop 88% and you're not liquidated. That's where you stay safe. You don't want to be liquidated. You do not want to be liquidated. You don't want to lose those funds ever. I mean, technically you'll still have the USDL that you've minted, but what's the point at that point? You lose everything. So you mint off 10%, and then you take that 10% over to the PulseX DEX, and then you buy up PLS, and then you take that PLS and you put it back in your vault. And then you wait for the price of PLS to go up 10%, and then you take out, which it's kind of interesting because once you take that money from USDL and you convert it to PLS, and you then take that PLS and you put it back into your vault, your collateralization is going to go up. It's going to go up a little bit. So by doing that, you're already kind of, bumping it up enough. And so then you don't really need the market to go up 10%. You just need to go up, a percentage, whatever it is, to get your collateralization to stay at 1,000%. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, there's probably 20 videos out there of people that describe it better than I just did. Again, and I could have it all wrong. Like I said, I'm new to this, so I'm kind of just regurgitating what I think I've learned. So what I think this is similar to in the real estate realm is a strategy that I use personally in real estate. I personally love real estate. I think it's, I just like homes. I like houses. I like land. I like property. I like to fix things. And I'm very good at it. And so I use this thought process to move forward into crypto, and it works really well for me. And this isn't my strategy in real estate. This is just what somebody has come up with, and it works. And I've always taken this quote at the top: building long-term wealth is better than getting rich. Getting rich is fine, but being rich and being wealthy are two totally different things that people don't understand. Being rich means that you may have just gotten a bunch of money. So you have money, that's rich. But wealth is when it generates for you. So it's not just a finite thing. It's not like I have money. It's like money is coming in. So it's kind of like the difference between, which most people don't know the difference between an asset and a liability. It's really simple. An asset brings you in money each month, whereas a liability is just, it might be worth something. It might have value, but it doesn't bring you in income. So asset and liability is very similar to wealth and rich. It just, it can be money, but it's not constantly generating money. So the best way to generate money or build wealth is utilize crypto for the best that you can. And so how can you generate wealth in real estate? And I use a BRRRR strategy. It's called the BRRRR strategy, BRRRR. And the BRRRR strategy is quite simple. You either need to have money up front. You have to have money to start with. Again, this is not a real estate podcast, or not podcast. This isn't a real estate conversation, but it's easy for me to understand real estate, so I can then use that to explain how this works in crypto. And so using the BRRRR strategy, it's simple. You just buy a cheap piece of shit, excuse my language. You buy a piece of crap house. Let's say it's boarded up, and you find a way to buy it, and you buy it from them for a number. I have a scenario at the bottom here. I'll show you. So you buy really, really good. You buy correct. You make your money when you buy. I've never heard that before. And then you renovate it. So you buy it, then you renovate it, and then you put a decent amount of money into it so that it's stout, that it's upgradable, so that it's that it's basically loanable, because you're buying a house that's not loanable. So all of the normal investors, all the normal home buyers can't go and buy this house on the market because it's not capable of being purchased. It has a blown off roof, or it has windows missing, or there's foundation issues, or the electrical is destroyed, or the plumbing is filled with concrete because someone's an asshole. Excuse my language again. So that's really happened to me. So you buy it, you renovate it, and then you rent it out. And then you refinance it. See, because at that point, you can go to the bank and you can say, okay, bank or credit union or whoever, asset manager, whoever you've got, you can go to them and you could say, okay, I'm ready now to take a loan out on this house. I have renovated it. It's fixed up. It's I've got this much money, and here's my ARV, which is after repair value. It's this much money. Can I get a 70% loan on that? So then you take all of the money you put into it, plus the money now you've basically you've put into it. Now it's called sweat equity. You've created equity out of nothing. You've created equity out of a piece of property that probably should have been bulldozed, and you refinance and you bring that money back out. And then you take that money and you do it again. And the best part is you have that property now rented, and it's wealth generating because it's giving you money each month. So I'm going to go through this, what I wrote. So it's BRRRR strategy: the buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. Powerful strategy. When you pull money out of the real estate through a mortgage, you do not pay taxes on the gains. So that's a cool thought there, is when everything you take out of that loan and that comes back to you is non-taxed. So you could pretty much, there's another way to do it in real estate. It's called 1031 exchange. And you could basically buy a property, you could fix it, you could flip it, and then all that money, you roll it over into another one, and you continue to do that, which you also, you basically defer taxes. This is just flat out not paying taxes. So a simple scenario would be this. You buy a non-loanable home with a cash value of $80,000. You buy it for $80,000. You put $20,000 in renovation capital into it, and you rent the property for $1,700 a month. That's not super uncommon to do something like that. I've done several of those. Then you refinance the property at 70% of the value of the home, which is now worth $325,000. You went from a home that had almost no value because you couldn't get a loan on it to now the value being $325,000. And you take a loan out on 30% of that. So you're paying, you get basically, I have it right here. This would give you $97,000 return of your capital plus wealth. I didn't say that in that text, but that's what it is. Cash flow is wealth plus wealth from the rent. And because you just did a renovation on it, there's a thing called capital expenditures, and they're low because you pretty much just rebuilt the house. So what did you just do? You just got your money tax-free, and you have an incentive to hold the real estate because you're earning income on it, which is your wealth. So now using that real estate metaphor, that real estate strategy, which is really powerful, you can now figure, how can you take crypto and do the same thing with it? All right. So cryptocurrency. The haunted strategy is powerful by itself. What if you could supercharge it? In the following strategies, I have found a way to build your stack absolutely massive. So moving forward, I'm taking an existing strategy someone has called the haunted strategy, the one I explained in the beginning, and I'm going to supercharge it using the BRRRR strategy. I know, I'm excited. So this one's called the BCH strategy. So basically, I have other crypto, right? Like I have stuff that I've been keeping, and I've gone up in value, and I'd like to get rid of it. I'd like everything that I own to be in PulseChain. I don't really have a reason to be in any other chains anymore, because everything that I love is being built onto PulseChain, and it's cheaper, it's faster, it's better, and the community is amazing. You guys are amazing. I'm kind of stealth in the community right now. Nobody knows me in there, But I am I'm excited about the PulseChain community. I'm excited about this whole entire thing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to liquidate everything that I own that's not PulseChain, and I'm going to put it into PulseChain. So sell everything you have in other crypto that has made you a gain of some sort. Now you can take that crypto gains, you're not selling it, you're just trading it. So you're going to trade it for one for another one. You're not leaving, you're not going to fiat, you're just taking it to one to another. Now you can take your crypto gains and use them to purchase more PLS. So now you go and you take all those gains, and instead of paying taxes on those gains, well, you will eventually because you're doing trading, but hopefully, you get the point. But this is the best way to get into a better tax situation, even though I'm not a tax consultant. I'm not financial advice. This is not tax advice. I'm not a tax consultant. But this is what I'm doing, so just listen to how I'm doing it. So I'm taking all of my crypto and I'm converting it over to PLS. I use this PLS to mint USDL by putting it into the vault, 1,000% collateralized, or 10% of the USD value that you have in your vault. Then continue to the HANA strategy. So you see what I did there? I took all of my gains from all the rest of the crypto that I really don't want to be involved with anymore, and I put it all into PLS, or all into PulseChain. And then I took all that PulseChain, which I don't have to sell, but I'm just going to borrow against it, and I'm going to stick it into liquid loans, and then I'm going to go to the haunted strategy. So that's actually my first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to take everything that I've got sitting over here, and it's all going in. And I've got a pretty good supply of other stuff that I'd like to get rid of. So that's the BCH, which is, what is it? BCH, buy, convert, haunted, I guess. I don't know. I had an acronym for it. I guess I forgot to write it. Well, whatever. Then the pool strategy. So with PLSX, you have the opportunity to take your PLSX and not sell it. Again, how great is this system? You can not sell it. And so what do you do when you not sell it? You single-sided stake it in a pool that's PLSX, and you earn third-party token. Third-party token is then used for whatever it's going to be used for. I still think there's a good play in keeping that and holding on to some of that. But while it's giving massive percentages, whatever that is, if it's even 40%, it's huge. So if it gives 40%, you can take that PLS. So PLSX allows a single-sided staking, which will give a third-party token, currently PRT. Using this token to exchange for PLS, then adding the PLS to the liquid loans vault, then take 10% loan, continue to the haunted strategy. So you now see that you're making you're taking the PRT token, or whatever the token is going to be named in the future, you're converting that, exchanging it to PLS to the vault to the USDL, and then you go back to the haunted strategy and you continue this process. So now not only is the haunted strategy just whatever you had in liquid loans, but now I'm taking from my rest of my crypto is going into liquid loans. The gains from PLSX are going into liquid loans. And so if you look at some of those charts that Haunted has created, they go exponentially on the growth side. So imagine if you're not only just doing the standard haunted strategy, but if you're bringing in massive amounts of other income and you're continuing this, imagine the snowball that you're going to create, and we're going to add more to it. Are you ready? Here we go. The next addition, instead of strategies, this should just be step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So this is the ecosystem strategy. So you get free Pulse gives away free PLS. So take that free PLS and put it straight into your PLS vault in liquid loans. Don't even mess with doing, and personally, I would take a bunch of your friends and on-ramp them and give them the ability to get PLS. And while doing that, you're getting 50% of everything that they win. So it's advantageous for you to tell, at least 5 or 6 friends that are going to sit there, maybe friends that don't have a job, and they just sit at home all day long and living off the government. If they can live off the government and press a button every hour and make some money, or, probably those people will just gamble it away. But regardless, you're going to get 50% of every time they click that button. Whatever they win, you get 50% from the system. So take your free PLS and your friend's free PLS that you keep getting and put that into your liquid loans vault. and bam, you now are compounding even more. IMD token, they give you PLS by holding their token in their wallet or in MetaMask. They're going to give you dividends of the transactional costs. So you're going to make transactional fees in the form of PLS. Take that PLS, stick it into the vault. Bam, more compounding. Mintra gives PLS for staking their Mint token. If you've done a sacrifice for them, or if you haven't, doesn't matter. Take that for transactional fees as well. You stake it, you get transactional fees in PLS. The PLS goes into the vault. Bam, more compounding. So, other projects that are being developed will also, they will also be possibly giving out PLS as well. So what do you do with the PLS? Now that we know you have a place to never sell it, and it allows you to compound the interest and compound it heavily. And now you can use Power City. Power City's got the ability to use their compounder that automatically compounds. It automatically does the haunted strategy. Do you see how incredibly massive this can become? By taking all these free handouts or PLS and putting them into your liquid loans vault, then taking a 10% loan on the amount minted from in the form of USDO, you could go buy more PLS and continue the haunted strategy from there. This results in never selling your crypto. Whoa. That's my steps and strategies to making liquid loans an absolutely titan, a giant, an absolute disgusting gains. I mean, I'd say in 2 years, I don't even know what the haunted strategy is showing and what their time frame is, but you're taking that strategy and you're, I think supercharging it's understatement. This might be putting it on crack. This is nuts. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. I think, in my opinion, this is the ultimate liquid loans step-by-step strategy guide because it allows you to utilize the PulseChain system the way that everybody who's building on it is designing it. They're designing it to do this. They're saying, please take my project and take the PLS and do something with it. They want you to do something with it. Why would they give it to you? So take it and use it to really enhance the system. What does that do to the price when everybody keeps doing this? When everybody decides to do something similar to this, what do you think happens to PLS? It's not a rhetorical question. What do you think happens to PLS when everybody does this? I can tell you what happens to it. The price is going to go up because basically you're locking in the currency PLS into a vault. It's locked, being collateralized against. It's locked in there, and the more that happens, the less there is that's circulating, and the less that's circulating, the higher the price goes. So the higher the price goes, the more you can take out of your USDL minted amount on collateralization. The more you can do that, the bigger that thing gets. It just keeps on. It's a mega compounder. And being able to use all of the platforms to do this is mind-boggling. If you don't feel like you're in the driver's seat right now, if you don't feel like this is going to be absolute monstrous, like amazing, the best thing that you've ever seen, I don't even know what to say to you. I'm so new to this, I could be wrong. I could have all of this information wrong. And I wish somebody would do some numbers for this. I'm not great at math. I'm better at building. And I would say that by doing this, you can compound your wealth. This is where you take wealth and you have wealth build wealth. In the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he talks about utilizing wealth to build more wealth. And in the Bible, it talks about using wealth and having, it's in Ecclesiastes, it talks about having 7 to 8 different investments that earn you passive income or earn you money. It actually says that in the Bible. I don't know if you know that. But the smartest thing you can do is figure out a way to have your money work for you, and then figure out how to make your money work for more money to make that money work for you. And I believe that we can do that with liquid loans. I don't know what you'd call this strategy. I think you just call it the everything strategy, because you're going to take, this is like the everything seasoning that's on those bagels that's amazing. This is the everything sauce right here. So I think that's all I got. I hope that somebody is able to take this idea and use it and better their life, and then eventually be able to better somebody else's life, because that's the point. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Thanks a lot. Talk again.